I was actually fine with right, but anyway, so am I. I am girl, and we're gonna give a few minutes for everybody to hop on. I actually have asked my sister to hop on as well because she's gonna help in sections and things like that. So also down in the live chat, it says all messages are visible. Let's see. I don't want to learn more. Hey, friend. Hey, so my sister is here. She's going to manage the chat for us. And so if you have any questions, I encourage you just put all the questions in the chat. If you say anything crazy, she's going to boot you from the chat. Fair warning. Anyway, also, we're going to be talking about tonight real estate versus insurance. So, should you sell real estate? Should you sell life insurance? Which one is better? What's the difference? And how do you know? So, I'm trying to see right quick if I can stream. So, give me 1 second. I'm going to share over on. So here we are. So I just had to go over there and share it right quick. So thank you all for joining us tonight. Those of you that have joined us and will join. So let's get started talking right quick. So I get this question all the time about whether or not should I sell real estate? Should I sell life insurance? What's the difference between the two? How will I know which one is better? And because I get that question all the time, I figured it would be a great time to come on and talk about it. So just to share with you a little bit about who I am. So I'm Garlinda Price. I'm a licensed real estate broker, and I've been licensed since 2009. So I came into real estate. The Lord led me into real estate during the recession, during the market crash. I came in, no experience in selling real estate at all. Now, yes, I had experience in sales, but I had never sold a home, right? Had never sold a house, completely freaked out, totally terrified. You can hear my testimony on a different video. I also have a ministry playlist, so you can hear my testimony on there about how the Lord led me into real estate. And then I got my insurance license last year. So that means that going on, 12 to 13 years in real estate. And this is going into my second full year in life insurance. So technically, I sold life insurance from April of 2021 to November of 2021, and then I just was burned out, right? So I was like, okay, let me just take a minute, pause, breathe, and figure out what I want to do. And then recently I said, okay, you know what? I really did love insurance. There was so much I loved about it. There were things I didn't like about it, and I'm going to talk about that as well. So that's just a little bit about me. I've been a full-time real estate broker my entire career. So I've never worked part-time. So I'm sharing information with you from a vantage point of a pro, right? And I don't say that to brag. I brag only on the Holy Spirit and only on God. But He has blessed me to become an expert in this field, in the field of real estate. And I'm still learning in the field of insurance, but I think they are both incredibly great fields. They're just different. So if you're just joining us, welcome. Super excited that you're here. We're talking about, should you sell real estate or should you sell life insurance and health insurance? Which one is better? Are they the same? Are there even any comparisons? So just to give you a little bit of background about me, I just shared with you my real estate background, full-time, going on 13, 14 years, somewhere around that. Came in 2009. You do the math. I think it's 13 years, right? Also full-time and a successful broker. So I've owned a firm. I have about 4 brokers that work with me. They all work part-time. So any of the numbers that I'll share with you in real estate of the things that I've sold, if I share those numbers, are not related to what my team does. They are all part-time brokers. In insurance last year, again, I started in April of 2021. I got my life insurance license. I don't have my health license yet. I'm currently studying for health. I would encourage you, if you're thinking about getting your life insurance and your health insurance, do it together at the same time. That way you go ahead and knock it out. It's 20 hours for life, it's 20 hours for health. And I will tell you that with the life insurance exam, that the first 6 chapters are a repeat of the life insurance. So it'll be super easy for you because technically only a half of the hours that you'll be studying are related to health. So get it knocked out. That's what I wish I would have done. Okay, so my insurance number. So I got my life insurance license, physically could start writing and had writing numbers April of 2021. Okay, so from April of 2021 through November of 2021 was how long I wrote life insurance. Okay, I saw your question. I'll go back to that. Thank you, Teresa. That's a great question. So just to give you an idea of my numbers, right? So I built a team of 41 brokers. We'll talk about building a team in real estate and building a team in insurance. And the Lord blessed me to sell 117 apps. I was able to protect, I think it was 65 families, but I wrote 117 applications through those 65 families. So that's a lot of business for someone that has no experience, right? And so I was the top producer in our organization. I was a producer and I was a recruiter. So that just shares that I have experience and I'm sharing with you from a vantage point of what I'm talking about. So Treese asks, I'm not sure if I'll be able to see the chat. Let's see. She said, what is the benefit, Dr. Carter? What is the benefit of having life and health? So the benefit of having your life and health license is because if you have your life insurance license, you can sell all life products, right? So what that means is you can sell whole life, term life, variable life. You can sell IULs. You can sell variable life. You can sell all life products, right? But if you don't have your health license, you can't sell. I'm sorry. You can also sell accidental policies with a life insurance license. With a health license, you can sell heart attack policies, cancer and stroke policies. Those are policies that are offered like through many companies, but let's just say Mutual of Omaha. You can offer dental, you can offer vision. So if you have your health license, you can offer dental, vision, cancer, heart attack, stroke. You can offer so many more products, additional accidental products that you can't offer if you only have a life license. So let's say it one more time. So with the life insurance license, you can sell variable, whole life, term life, IULs, which are universal life products. You can sell all life products. With the health license, in addition to being able to sell life, if you have life and health, is you can sell dental, vision, heart attack, cancer, and stroke policies that are offered through many companies. So if you don't have a health license, there are going to be some products you can't sell, right? So if you say, well, you know what, I'm not good at taking tests, this is the easiest test you'll ever take in your life, but we'll talk about that, okay? So let's get going. Why real estate? I wrote down questions so I can stay on task and stay focused. Any questions you have, definitely put them in the chat. I will be able to see them. So why real estate? So the reason why it may be a great idea for you to sell real estate is, do you love houses, right? And that's not the only reason that you should sell real estate, but in real estate, you can make a great income, right? So if you're someone that says, I really love the idea of helping families get into a new home, it is a rewarding career. Why? Because you get to impact families for generations. I never really thought about that probably until I started teaching the first time home buyer program that we teach through our firm, Fusion Properties. So I own Fusion Properties LLC. I told you that. But I never thought about the importance of what I do as a licensed real estate broker. Of course, I thought it was a career and it's a great career and I put people in houses and oh, whoop-de-whoop, right? But we were laughing about that word earlier today. Big whoop that you put people in houses. But when I did the research, as a real estate agent, you actually get to impact families from a root place. What that means is children that grow up in homes, the studies have shown that they do better in school when the home is owned. It's shown that people live longer that own homes. It's shown that people who own homes also are in better health. Those are facts, right? As Marvin and I, my husband, shout out to him, we were doing research about home ownership. Those are facts from HUD, from Housing and Urban Development. So as a licensed realtor, that is something you can do. You can have the benefit of knowing that you've created roots in home ownership for families. Why insurance, right? Even almost as great, but to me a little bit greater, because you get to bless that family with an inheritance. It has to be wealth for that. You're the person that verifies that when someone passes away, that verify might not have been the right word I was looking for. You're the person that validates, right, when someone passes away, that legacy will continue. Both of them are super important jobs. So when you sell someone a life insurance product on their children, on their grandchildren, on the adults in the home, on the main breadwinner, the earner, what you've done is you've solidified their financial future in knowing that they're covered. Right? That if something were to happen to the main breadwinner in that home, that family's lifestyle would be able to continue. The lifestyle they're used to would be able to continue. Their college education may be paid for. Their debts may be paid off. Their credit cards might get paid off. Their funeral would be paid for. So many valuable things happen when you sell someone a life insurance product. With all of the health insurance products that are out there, and why it's important to have life and health is because now so many companies offer heart attack, cancer, and stroke products. So that means that you don't even have to die to benefit from insurance, right? Insurance isn't just about death, right? Insurance is also for the living. Some people can outlive their money. Well, what happens if you outlive your retirement? right? Then they have insurance products that you can borrow against. They have insurance products you can take money from. If someone were to have a heart attack, for example, and they have a heart attack, the very next day the insurance company is cutting them a check because for whatever, say it's $25,000. If they have a heart attack, the insurance company can use that money to carry on monthly expenses, monthly bills, while they recuperate and while they recover. Same thing with cancer. That person gets a cancer diagnosis. Now they have a policy that covers them and pays their monthly expenses during the time that they have cancer. What about a return of premium policy, right? Some people have return of premium policies where the whole time that they maybe own a home, we call that mortgage protection. They have a life insurance product. They have a life insurance product that if they don't pass away, thank God, right? The end of 30 years, their mortgage got paid off. Well, now what happens? Some people would say, well, that was a waste of money. Right? For 30 years, I paid for something, and now I don't have anything to show for it. Well, it wasn't a waste of money. Okay. Oh, no, I don't want anything, honey. Thank you. So that's not a waste of money that that nothing happened. That just means that now you need a different insurance product because you had that product in place for the time that you needed it to pay off your home if something were to happen. But with a return of premium product, what that does is at the end of that 30 years, anyone that has a what we call an ROP, right, a cash return product, they can get 75% of the face value, 75% of the premium that they paid into that insurance product, they can get that back at the end of that 10, 15, 20, or 30-year term. So that's why real estate. That's why life insurance. But now you have to decide which one is best for me. So we're going to I wrote down the questions and then we're going to keep going from there. So how do I build a real estate business? Okay, so it takes at least a year to build a solid real estate business, right? I know that people think that they can come in a lot of times, agents will come in and they bounce in and out of real estate. And just to give you some statistics, during COVID and during the pandemic, real estate lost, I want to say, I don't want to exaggerate the number. We had 16,000 realtors leave the profession. 16,000 realtors left in the pandemic. Why? Because real estate is not a business. It's the ebb and flow of the recession. It's the ebb and flow of the economy is up and the economy is down. Now, in real estate, I will tell you that no matter what the market is doing, there is always an opportunity to be successful as a real estate agent, but you got to feel that change. You have to be in tune with the market and know what it's doing to make that change and to make that shift. You got to shift. There's a great book by Gary Keller called The Shift. You got to be in front of the wave if you're going to be in real estate, right? So with real estate, how do you build a business? It's through your friends and family. It's through networking. It's through hosting events. It's through asking for leads. You got to lead generate every single day as a licensed real estate broker. And what happens, I'm just trying to see if there's any questions in the chat. What happens is most people are afraid to sell, right? So they come into real estate and they're like, oh, my friends and family, they're going to buy a house from me. And then the friends and family end up going buying from a stranger, because you would be surprised. A lot of friends and family don't want other people knowing their business, right? They don't want you as their friend knowing their finances, their personal information, any of those things. So how do you go about building a real estate business? You can build it on social media, but the challenge is you can only be licensed in one state initially, right? So let's say that I'm here in the state of North Carolina and I'm licensed in North Carolina. That means that I can sell a home anywhere in the state of North Carolina, sort of, right? So we're talking about how do I build a real estate business. So if I'm only licensed in the state of North Carolina as a licensed real estate broker, that means, let's say I want to go over to our neighboring state, South Carolina, and I want to get licensed over there. Well, their rules and their laws are different in the state of South Carolina than in the state of North Carolina. In North Carolina, you don't have to have a brick and mortar location. You can work from home. You can work from the coffee shop. You can work from your car. You can work from anywhere in the world that you want to work. Anywhere in North Carolina you want to work from, you don't have to have a physical location. So real estate is limiting in that way, in that you can sell and you can only sell in the state that you're licensed in. Now, can I go, like I said, get a license in a neighboring state like South Carolina? Absolutely. So South Carolina used to have where you could pay $35 and get your South Carolina license, and you could just ride back and forth up and down 95 around the border all day long. Well, now you can't do that. So now you have to go take only the state portion of their test. Now you can be licensed in North Carolina and South Carolina, but a good old South Carolina has a brick and mortar rule. That means that you have to have a physical office, you have to have a physical location, and you have to be present and accounted for in the state of South Carolina in a physical space with a sign that people can see from the street, or that they can read legibly that it's your business, your office, in order for you to be a licensed real estate broker in the state of South Carolina. So there's a limit here. It's limiting when you have a real estate license, because that means that if I want to go to Georgia, but I got to follow the laws of Georgia. I got to follow the laws of North Carolina. If I'm licensed in South Carolina, I got to follow the laws of South Carolina. And I have to do the continuing education for all three of those states if I have those licenses, right? Same with Florida. I want to drive all the way down 95 and get a license in Florida. I got to go down there and I got to follow the rules of the state of Florida. And none of the rules are the same, right? So for every state with real estate that you want to be licensed in, all the states are different, right? So you're limited there and being licensed, because you have to actually physically sometimes go to those places. Now during the pandemic, you could get licensed online. I hate it for people that missed it, right? Because they were never going to bend those rules with real estate that you could get licensed online. Right now you got to go back in an in-person class. So the limit with getting a real estate license and trying to build a real estate business is that you have to do it physically in the location of the state that you're in. We're comparing insurance and real estate, so I want you to take notes. Of course, you can go back and look at this, and then my sister, Dr. Patrice Carter, is manning the chat. So if you have questions, you can put them in there, and she's gonna let me know that we have questions. So another drawback to having a real estate license is, again, it takes about a year to build up your pipeline. But what happens now that there's a recession? What happens now that interest rates are super high? I say super high. When my mom and daddy bought a house, interest rates were like 18%. So super high is like 5 or 6%. That's not high. But what that does is it kicks a lot of people out of the market that were already marginal in terms of being able to afford, because now they can afford less home. Now there's fewer homes on the market. So we used to have 3,000 houses on the market. Now we have about 800 houses, right? So think about all the buyers, and there's 800 houses to choose from. I have so many friends that quit real estate during the pandemic. They were like, I'll be back when the market shifts, or I'll be back when the market changes. But what if this is your full-time job? Right? You can't just up and quit in real estate because the market changes. You got to be able to flow with it. Well, let's compare insurance. How do I go about building an insurance business, right? Same thing. You still have to build it through friends and family. You still have to find out who has a need. You still have to find out, well, where am I going to get my insurance clients from? Let's go back one step, right? Real estate, buying leads. We're going to talk about that further down. But can you build a real estate business through buying leads? It's super expensive, right? Zillow will call you to buy leads. Realtor.com will call you to buy leads. TruliaHomes.com, they all have these lead programs. OpCity, there's all these different lead programs out there, but you can spend a lot of money buying real estate leads with people that are just tire kickers. Or you can buy leads from HUD, right? Housing and Urban Development. It's not really them selling the leads. It's a third-party system behind it selling you HUD leads, right? And people that they say are ready to buy. So you, in real estate, if you haven't learned how to beat the pavement, or you're not confident in going out and meeting people, it's going to be a struggle. Same with insurance, right? Because you gotta be able to figure out, what is your lead system going to be. So how do I build an insurance business? So when I started in April, for those of you that are just joining us, so when I started selling insurance in April of 2021, just last year, I had never sold an insurance policy. I didn't even know what an insurance product was. I mean, I know that I own insurance, right? But I've never read through the policy. I just know the little details of it. How much is it every month? How much will my family get if, God forbid, I pass away? That's all I knew of it, right? How am I going to build an insurance business? I bought leads. Been going on 13 years. I already knew of this business. Not only did I buy leads, I marketed on social media. Not only did I market on social media, I asked friends and family. Not only did I ask friends and family, I was out talking to people and handing out business cards and postcards. So if you're going to build a real estate or an insurance business, you're going to have to invest in a lead system. You're going to have some way where there's constantly a flow of people coming into your business that you can help and that you can then make a commission or a profit off of, right? So I'll share with you that, how do you leverage yourself? We're going to number 5, leveraging yourself through real estate or leveraging yourself through insurance. What does that mean? building. Because a lot of people say, well, you can build this massive team with real estate. Well, you can. You can build this massive team with insurance. Yes, that's true. You can. So let's start talking about real estate first. Over the course of my 13-year real estate career, I've had tons of brokers, right? Probably in total, not tons. I probably had 13 brokers in total, right, in the different markets that we were in. And currently there's 4 that work for my firm. All of them don't sell, right? Some of them are only part-time. Some of them may or may not have experience. So if you say, well, I'm going to sell real estate and I want to build a team and I want to create this team environment and this team culture, you can. But at the same time, you got to train them. You got to show them what to do. You got to teach them what to do. You got to show them how to sell real estate. And even if you teach and train them all those things, 2 things could happen. They could steal, well, 3. They could go out and sell some houses and you could make a commission percentage off of their business, whether that's 50-50, 60-40, or 70-30. You could teach them everything that they know and they tell you good luck, God bless, and then they go open their own firm. And there's nothing wrong with that. That happens, but you get no money from that. Now, competition if you see other people as competition. Not everybody does. I feel like I wake up with my competition, so I don't see that as competition. The third thing could happen is you could teach them everything you know and they do nothing. They just sit there and you're like, but I thought when I built a team I was going to make money. So also with real estate, you can only build a team in the state that you're in, right? And not only that, you can only build a team under one broker in charge, under one business, under one umbrella. And so let's use an example. I own Fusion Properties LLC because we're comparing real estate and insurance. I own Fusion Properties LLC and I want to leverage myself. I want to open up another office and I want to hire more agents and I want to have one office in Eastover, North Carolina, and I want to have the other office over in Fayetteville, over in Haymount Hill. I'm a broker in charge of the Eastover office, but the real estate commission requires me to have another broker in charge for the office over in Haymount. I can't be a broker in charge at 2 separate offices by law. Right? So now in real estate, if I want to leverage myself, not only do I have to manage this office and be a broker in charge here, now I got to go pay and create payroll and go hire a broker in charge to manage that office over there. Now, some people do it illegally. I ain't gonna call them out, but they do it and they don't get caught doing it. But by law, you cannot manage multiple offices as a broker in charge in real estate. So you're limited in how you can leverage yourself. Can you grow a team? Yes. Do you like managing people? You got to think about that. I personally don't. I don't like managing people, right? Do you like managing people or do you like helping people build? But then do you want to get paid profitably from that business? Real estate may not be the best idea for that, right? Because again, if they don't sell anything, you don't get paid. Right? So we'll keep talking about that. How do you leverage yourself in insurance, right? So in order to leverage yourself in insurance, remember I said that we hired and brought on last year 41 brokers, right? So from the 41 brokers that we brought on, they were across the country, every state, right? Not every state, I'm being exaggerative, right? But in 8 states, right? So in the 8 states that I'm licensed in, they were across the country, which is really cool, right? So from those 41 people, you want to use the thought process that 20% of the people do 80% of the work. So from the 20%, that would have been 8 people. So we roughly had 8 writers, right? Now, but were all 8 people really writing business? Not everybody was. They would write sporadically every now and again, but on average, I had 4 to 6 writers monthly. That's a great number. It may not sound like a lot, but 4 to 6 writers every month, roughly, I would say when they all fell off, and let's just say one person was writing, you're talking about residual income of around $1,600 a month. Whether I ever wrote a policy or not, I can't say that with real estate, right? Because if somebody does or doesn't write business in real estate, I may or may not get paid, but if somebody writes one policy in insurance, I'm going to immediately get paid. I'm sorry about that. I was the phone was going dead for a second, so I need to make sure I plug that in. But with insurance, what you can do is you can be licensed in all, I don't want to say all 50 states because New York is a tough state. You can be licensed in roughly 48 to 49 states and not physically be there. So remember I said a second ago that if you wanted to be licensed in another state separate North Carolina, you got to go to that state and you have to take their class, you have to take their exam, you have to take their test and do whatever it is that they say you have to do in order to get their license in real estate. Well, in insurance, I can log on to one site, nipper.com. And nipper.com, I can go to all the states that I want to get licensed in and I can select them all at once. So let's say there's 3 states I want to get licensed in: Tennessee, Michigan, and Texas, right? I put little check boxes on nipper.com by Tennessee, Texas, and Michigan. And then I go to the cart, I pay to check out, and it tells me it's either automatically approved and a license comes in the mail and email, or there's something I have to submit. Like Georgia, you got to submit a like an affidavit of I think it's like a U.S. affidavit to prove your citizenship. With Florida, you have to take a separate electronic fingerprint signature, right? But all the states are easy. Some of them are more challenging than others. All of them cost different amounts of money. But in insurance, you can be licensed in 48 to 49 to 50 different states, to include Guam, I'm making that up, but Puerto Rico, Hawaii, U.S. Virgin Islands. So even outerline territories, you can sell insurance in. Well, what does that mean, preacher? Right? That means that when I go on vacation, if I go on vacation to the great state of Florida and I'm at the beach basking in God's glory, I can write an insurance policy and get paid the same time. If I'm on vacation in Michigan and I'm in Michigan visiting family and somebody says they want a whole life policy, I can write a policy while I'm in Michigan. If I go to Texas and I'm getting some Tex-Mex and I'm hanging out with my friends and somebody says I want insurance, I can write insurance and write a policy and get paid the same day in the great state of Texas. So do I feel like real estate is better or insurance is better? I'm going to tell you at the end, right? But with real estate, it takes roughly 30 to 45 to 60 to 90 days to get paid, if your deal doesn't go to heck in a handbasket, right? So, but when you get paid great money. You get paid 3% of the transaction. So let's do some quick, easy math. Let's say that you sell a property that's $200,000 and you get paid roughly 3%. Commissions have been reduced since the pandemic. So a lot of people took a pay cut, lost a percentage. And you may say, well, that's not a lot. That's 30%. Right? So if you lost a percentage of your business during the pandemic, you lost 30% of your business. A friend of mine in mortgage lending told me that during the pandemic that they're writing 95% fewer policies. Can you imagine how many people have gone out of business in the mortgage industry because they're writing 95% fewer 95% fewer mortgage loan applications are down from last year? So a $200,000 house, you get 3%, that's $6,000. If you're a partner, you keep the whole thing. I don't want my commissions on anybody. I don't have any overhead. I work from home. All I have to pay is my little MLS dues. It's like $60 a month, right? But let's say that you work for a franchise or you're on a team and they're like, yeah, I'll take my 50%. I'll take my 30%. Yep, I'll take my 40%. Then you're going to make in real estate $200,000 times 3% is $6,000. And if you get the 60%, then you get 60% of that, $3,600. If you get the 40%, you get $2,400. You get half of it, you get $3,000, right? That's not chump change. It's not a little bit of money at all. But that's how it works. But in insurance, oh, good old delicious insurance, right? This is where my man is going to test it, right? Let me see if I can find my Trees card. I'm not sure she's still on here with me or not. But let's use round numbers. Let's say that you write the average policy in insurance about $85. Let's just say $100, right? So if the average policy in insurance is $100, what's really awesome about life insurance is they will pay you in advance. So hi, there you are. She said, I'm here. So cute. So if I need you, I'll tell you math-wise. So what's awesome about insurance companies, and I feel like I'm rambling, so I want to slow down. That's why I'm slowing down just a little bit. Let me say one thing about real estate, then we'll talk about insurance. So with real estate, the way the money works is that if you're the listing agent, that means that you represent the seller. If you're the buyer's agent, you represent the buyer. In the state of North Carolina, which is the only one that I can speak of, the seller normally pays the real estate commissions, although you may work for the buyer exclusively, right? So that means that $6,000 we just talked about is normally paid for by the seller. That's not always the case, because if the seller refuses to pay the commission, then you got to have your buyer pay it. That's neither here nor there, right? So you get paid through your firm, right? Because all the business is owned by the firm. So that's a downside, because if you're at closing, when they go to write that check and cut that check, they're not going to cut the check to Dr. Patrice Carter. They're going to cut the check to Fusion Properties LLC, and then she has to wait for me to cut her check from Fusion Properties. So what I love about, and then not only that, it takes 30, 45, 60, 90 days to get paid, barring nothing happens with your transaction. There are a lot of things that can blow a real estate transaction out the water. I can't even tell y'all about it, but I got my gray hairs covered up, and I didn't have any when I came into real estate, right? But anyway, so with insurance, you can get paid every single day. It is the craziest thing to me. I was like, where's insurance been all my life? Sweet baby Jesus, right? So if you needed income today as a licensed life insurance broker, you could get money today. Well, not today. You get paid tomorrow, but you get paid within 24 to 48 to 72 hours, depending on which carrier you write the business with. You could pay your rent tomorrow. You could pay your mortgage tomorrow. You could buy groceries the next day. You could get gas the next day. So you get to determine in insurance how much money you make on a daily, weekly basis. That's not the same with real estate. And the money is almost the same. So in other words, that same $6,000 that you just made for selling a $200,000 house in real estate that took you 30 to 45 days to get paid, if you wanted to make that same $6,000 in insurance, you could do that as well without the same amount of headache. Okay, so let's talk about that right quick. I'm gonna plug the phone in a minute, make sure I'm, hold on, let me just show it and go down, y'all. So let's use an example. So let's say that you sell a policy that's $100 a month, right? That's $1,200. So if you sell, and pull up a calculator right quick. So if you sell a policy in insurance that is $100 a month, that's the premium that the person pays you. That's the premium the person pays every month. Let's say they're paying that to Mutual of Omaha, right? So Mutual of Omaha says, good for you, great girl, Dr. Carter. So $100 times 12 months, that means that their annual premium is $1,200 a year. So the insurance companies, depending on the contract that you have set up, can pay you 25% of that in advance, 50% of that in advance, or 75% of that in advance. If you have decent credit and good credit, right? Because that's going to determine if you can get the advances or not. Then if you have, most of the time, if you have decent credit, then they're going to pay you 75% advance. So that means $1,200 times 75%. The insurance company is going to advance you $900. So let's say that I went to Dr. Carter yesterday and she bought a whole life policy, and her monthly premium is $100 a month, which is $1,200 a year. Good old insurance company says, great job, Garlinda. We're going to give you your advance of 75%. That's not the commission. They're paying you 75% of that $1,200 up front, which is $900. Well, let's say that I'm on a 100% commission split. Guess how much Mama's getting? $900. I was like, what? Right? I don't feel like I was so dumb. Like, I had my insurance license for years and just left it in the state of Virginia, walked away like, big, who cares, right? Because I didn't know. So $900, but let's say you're on a 75% split. Let's say whatever company you're with and you go with XYZ company. The company I'm with, we pay starting at 100%, right? For our core carriers. So that $900, if you're at 100%, you get paid $900 within 24 to 48 to 72 hours, depending on who you wrote the policy with. So let's just say you're on a 75% contract. Your $900 times 75%, you get paid $675. And what are they doing? They're paying you for 9 months of the business in advance, right? So when they pay you that money in advance, what happens to month 10, 11, and 12, right? So at the end of that 9 months, you've already gotten paid your $900 or your $675 in advance. Well, come the 10th month, guess what you get? Money in your account. The 11th month, what do you get? Money in your account. The 12th month, what do you get? money in your account. So not only is the insurance company paying you in advance 75% upfront of the money for their annual, they're paying you this person's annual policy amount, almost the full thing upfront. And then the last 3 months of the year, you get the difference. You can't make this stuff up. It's gangster, right? So the drawback to that is chargebacks. We'll talk about that in a second. But let's just keep talking money. So let's say, like my first week in insurance, didn't know what I was doing. I told you I marketed on social media, told everybody, hey, I got my life insurance license, super excited. Here's the states I'm licensed in. And I had a friend reach out and say, you know what? If something happens to me, I want my son to get X amount of dollars. Can you help me out with this policy? We're going to do some math right quick. I know you're not looking at my computer, but I'm going to read the numbers out to you. So let me just clear it out. So she decided to get a policy for her son, and her monthly premium was going to be $180 a month. So $180 a month times 12 is $21.60. At that point, I was on a 75% commission, but let's do the math because this is where people get confused. So $2,160, the insurance company is going to do what? They're going to advance me 9 months or 75% of that $2,160 up front. So let's do times 75%. That didn't work right. Just kidding. I forgot to clear it out. Okay, so 180 times 12. It's $2,160 times 75% advance. They're going to pay me 9 months. Is $1,620. Okay, so now depending on the thank you, Trees. Look at you, you math genius. So $1,620 is not my commission, because now what they're going to do is they're going to say, okay, what split are you on? If I'm on 100% commission, guess what mama's going to get? $1,620, and Dr. Carter's going to be like, can I get me some money, right? Because that's my sister, right? But let's just say you're on a 75% split, which is what I started on, and that's not chump change, okay? So $1,620 times 75% is $1,215. So for that one policy where I marketed myself on social media and my friend said, hey, I want to get a policy to cover myself in the event something happened to me for my son, that first week in insurance, I made $1,215. Give me a break, right? I was like, forget real estate. Darn real estate, right? That was my thought process. So when you think about, is the money better in real estate or is the money better in insurance? I will tell you this. Real estate money, once you get your check, that's your shmoney, right? That's your cash in your hand. You earned it. Nobody's going to take it. There's no charge back. Nobody's coming back for it. Cash it, run on, meet the Lord, right? But in insurance, if you get paid $1,215 in advance, you get paid $1,620 in advance, you get paid $3,000 in advance, you get paid $500 in advance, and that person cancels that policy before 10 months, you got to pay it back. Ooh, tell me when that hurt your feelings, right? So that's the drawback to getting paid in advance. I'm going to tell you a way around that. But that's the drawback to getting paid in advance in insurance is, yes, it's excellent money up front, but you have to have wisdom and set a percentage of that money aside for people that may cancel their policies, right? Because when money gets tight and people have insurance, sadly as it is, a lot of people will cancel their policies and they will treat their insurance policy like a bill, their payment like a bill instead of like an investment. Let me plug in the phone right quick, huh? So that's a downside, okay? But the way around that, sorry about that. So I'm gonna stitch y'all up right quick. Hold on. So the way around that is you could get paid as earned, right? So when I was writing policies with a company with Gerber, everybody's heard of Gerber Life, the little Gerber baby. When I was writing policies with Gerber, they only pay as earned, I think, and which is kind of odd. But anyway, by them paying the policy as earned, that meant that so when I was getting paid as earned by Gerber, the company I was working for stopped writing with them. So that's why I said was. We write with AIG now. So when I wrote a policy with Gerber and got paid as earned, that means every time my client paid their bill, I got paid. How cool is that, right? That's not a bad thing that I wasn't getting advanced by Gerber, because that meant that every time that person paid their $189 monthly premium, I got paid a percentage of that money, right? So let's look and see what that is. So I'm having to hold the phone because I didn't want it to cut off. It wasn't acting right. So 189, we're talking about how you get paid as earned in insurance. I just talked to you about advances a second ago and how you get advanced 75% of the money up front, times your commission, you get paid, and you get your other 3 months at the end of the year, month 10, 11, and 12. But this is how you get paid as earned. The blessing of paid as earned is you don't have to worry about chargebacks. If they cancel their policy, big whoop, you already get paid because you only get paid when they pay the bill. And you can opt to do that as an insurance broker. You can opt with every carrier. Some you can say, I want to get paid in advance. Some you can say, you get to decide. So every time my client paid their, I got paid 75%. Well, Gerber's different, but let's just assume 75%. I got paid $141.75 every time that person paid their bill. Give me a break. So think about that. Every month, like clockwork, I was getting paid $141.75. I could be with my children. I could be with my family. I could be riding around wasting lollygagging, as my sister and I call it, right? And I'm getting paid every month like clockwork, $141.75. So the blessing of insurance is that you can get paid monthly, you can get paid daily, you can get paid weekly. It's totally up to you. And that's what I love about insurance. But what I would say is real estate is money that nobody's going to take back. With insurance, you have to be smart enough and be wise enough to set a percentage of your income aside so that if someone does cancel their policy, it doesn't run you out of business, right? Because what happens with a chargeback, and then this is giving too much information because I don't want to, belabor the point. We want to keep going. We're at 41 minutes. If someone cancels their policy and you don't pay that money back, you can become vectored. And what that means is the insurance company, they want to make you pay. They want to, let's say you stop paying. Let's say it's that $1,620 and you don't have the money, you spend it. Well, the insurance company is going to want you to pay back a percentage of it every month. You can set up a payment plan, but they want all that money back. Well, let's say you're like, forget y'all, I ain't giving that money back. Then they're going to do something called vector you, and you won't be able to write with them anymore. And it puts a red flag on your insurance license, and it affects your licensing, right? That's the worst case scenario. So let's talk about let's talk about real quickly the current market for real estate brokers. I told you we lost 16,000 brokers in the state of North Carolina last year, right? So 16,000 brokers walked away from real estate and was like, good luck, God bless me, heaven smile upon you. But in insurance, and then what is it looking like for this year? Well, a lot of people are still getting their real estate license, but think about it, there's hardly any properties for sale. So that means that if you don't already have an established business and you don't come in guns a-blazing and running and gunning to really build this business, and you don't have that hustle mentality, real estate is not for you, because it is always a hustle. The other thing about it, and we're going to talk about leverage in a second, and we talked about it a little bit, but I'm going to touch on it one more time. With real estate, you're going to go with the ebbs and flow of the market. If it's up, it's up. If it's down, it's down, right? You can be hating life some months. You can be loving life the next month. But what is the current market for insurance? Well, so many millennials are deciding and have decided through the pandemic, we need insurance, right? Because the thing that you'll find about young people is they don't think they're ever going to die. Right? The most people that I have that I talk to that were like, nah, I don't need insurance. I'm good. I'm fine. Call me later. Call me in 20 years. Are young people, because they feel like they're going to live forever. Right? And so we would hear stories, of course, of people that, had tragic accidents, or they all of a sudden had illnesses pop up on them, and they were young and they were uninsured, right? So it is easier to find an older person that needs insurance, but it's more expensive. So when I did some research preparing to get on here for you all, how many millennials are there in the U.S.? I'm just gonna Google it right quick. How many millennials? Can't spell. I just want to show you the fact millennials are in the U.S. So there are 72.1 million millennials in the U.S. That's a lot of business, and the majority of them need insurance, right? So that's who the current market is, and that's who the current market is for. Or people that own homes. Do you have a mortgage? What happens to that mortgage when you pass away? Well, what happens to the mortgage when someone passes away that doesn't have life insurance? That house goes into foreclosure if that family can't keep up the payments. Well, what if there's no payment owed on the house where you got taxes? What happens if everybody won't get together and pool their money together to keep mama's house together when out of tax money, the state, the tax man, the state, they get that house, right? So that is, you have a ton of people that through the pandemic now see the shortness of life and they're like, I need some insurance. So now is an excellent time to come into the insurance field. What is the future of real estate? And I'm just going to talk about this really quickly. So Zillow became a real estate company 3 years ago. Zillow just used to be the little home shopping channel that everybody went to, still go to now looking for homes. And what they did was they infiltrated the marketplace and created they were just a marketing organization based out of Seattle, Washington. Now they physically are real estate. They have a real estate brokerage. One is in Raleigh. So everybody has their hand corporate wise in the real estate pot. Who are the buyers? The buyers of real estate right now are corporate buyers, they're Asian buyers, they're Middle Eastern buyers, and there's nothing wrong with that. But what that means is that by there being corporate buyers and by there being foreign buyers, that means that there are fewer properties for American buyers, which makes it harder for you as a licensed real estate broker because you're competing against a corporation that can pay cash, right? With a buyer that maybe barely has $1,000 to $5,000 to put down. Real estate right now is a fight, and that is the future of real estate. It is changing as a marketplace and it's shifting. So even though they have all these first-time home buyer programs, I have access to, through one of my clients, I think we can access per client about $60,000 down payment assistance. We can't even get the money away because most people don't qualify because of credit. Right? So now you're dealing with, okay, well, if I want to go with this niche over here of first-time home buyers, first I got to get their credit out the dregs of society to get them to where they need to go. So if I had to make a decision between real estate and insurance, I'm going to tell you in 10 minutes, right? Choose insurance. So then I have, what's the future of insurance? Well, I just talked to you about what the future of insurance is, but I want to give you a statistic that I looked up just for me as an African-American, as a black woman. We are 18% of the insurance industry. 18%. Because I was like, I wanted to reach out to a fellow African-American female just to get mentored, ask some questions of, make some connections. I couldn't find one anywhere. If you saw one, I saw one. I was like, where are we? But then I found out, and I did find one, thank God, with the company I'm currently with. But what I found is that we're 18% of the market. That might not be important to everybody, but I'm just sharing with you that that is a huge opportunity if you're a minority woman, but it's also a huge opportunity if you're a woman because it is a male-dominated field. So not only just African-American women, women in general, and women in general do better in sales because we're more nurturing. Nothing against men, not dogging anybody out. I'm just sharing with you what's a fact. It's a statistical fact that women are more nurturing and make better connections because we use our hearts, right? And people can connect emotionally with us. So there's opportunity for you in the insurance field. In real estate, we're about, as I would just say, African Americans are 30% of the insurance field. 30% of the real estate field. So there's opportunity for growth there as well. But why fight it? Why come in and do battle with corporate brokers? It just depends on the market that you're in and where you see yourself growing. CE in real estate every year. 4 years of an elective and 4 years of an update. CE in insurance every 2 years. Hallelujah. I don't even have to take CE until next year. Right? So 2 years that you don't even have to worry about continuing education. Praise God. Right? So let's go back and just touch on one thing right there. So after you get your real estate license, you have to work with a broker for 2 years before you can go off on your own. So you can't just get your real estate license and be like, deuces, I'm going to open up XYZ LLC. No. For 2 years, you have to work with a broker and work under a broker to make sure that you know what you're doing. During that 2-year time frame, you have to take post-licensing courses. I think it's 90 hours. So not only did you just have to go through all the rigmarole to get your real estate license, now you got to take 90 hours of post-licensing. There's a test at the end of 1 or 2 of those classes, and you got to work with a broker for 2 years before you can go off on your own. Insurance, you can take the class today, get your license tomorrow, right? Because only 20 hours for the life and 20 hours for the health. It is a easy test. It's memorization. It's definitions. Don't let anybody lie to you and tell you it's different. Real estate, I don't know where to get those questions from. I think they went to Mars and talked to some space cadet in Mars and was like, let's just put these questions together. The real estate exam is designed to fail you. In my personal opinion, that may not be true. It is very hard. But insurance license, you can study online, take the test through a company today, take the test tomorrow at a testing center, have your license tomorrow, get your writing numbers within 2 to 3 weeks, depending on who you partner with, and you can be writing business in no time, and you won't have to take another class for 2 years. It is such a big difference, right? Let's talk about earning potential in real estate. We talked about that, earning potential in insurance, but I want to tell you averages. The average real estate broker sells 4 houses a year. I don't know how they stay in business. I'm not even saying that to be funny. The average real estate agent sells 4 houses a year and makes on average $24,000 to $48,000 a year. The $48,000 doesn't sound bad, but that's not from selling 4 houses, so that's not true, right? You're not gonna sell 4 houses and make $48,000. $24,000 at best, anywhere from $18,000 to $24,000 a year. 4 houses for all that headache, right? So for a class that took you three to 6 months, for post licensing for 3 years, you got to work for somebody for 3 months, you got to work for somebody for 2 years, and on average they sell 4 houses a year. What is the point? Just my personal opinion. Insurance, let's just look up the average income for insurance. I'm going to share with you, through the grace of God, okay, well, the Holy Spirit told me not to do that. I told you, though, that I sold 117 policies. So from the 117 policies, it helped 65 families. We could do the math on that, but we're not. Let's just look up the average insurance agent salary. The average insurance agent salary is anywhere from $23,000 to $83,000 a year. $23,000 to $83,000 a year. It is not unheard of for an insurance broker to make $100,000 a year. It's not unheard of. And I would say that if you had chargebacks on that, let's say that you were to factor in 35%, because you got to factor in chargebacks. Like, to not do that just doesn't make sense. So let's say that you were making $100,000 a year and you had chargebacks of $35,000, you could net $65,000, not including your lead costs and stuff like that. So that's the difference. $24,000 a year average real estate agent, or $65,000 a year average insurance broker. Of course, that's going to be dependent upon the work and the effort you put into it. Why am I saying broker? Okay, so in some states, people are real estate agents. In some states, they're brokers. In North Carolina, we're a broker state. So the minute you take your license, you become a broker. In 2 years, you can go off on your own. Every state's not like that. Like California, you're an agent. You got to take a broker exam, and it's a long process. Okay, but the minute that you get licensed in North Carolina in insurance, you're an agent. How do you become a broker? When you partner with a company, right? When you partner, and I want you to think about partnering with us. My compadre, trusty compadre, Dr. Patrice Carter, is on here with me. She's going to put a link down if you want to have a discovery session. I'm going to tell you before I go what my company offers. Just a few things we can talk about it when we get on a call, right? But when you become a licensed life insurance, life and health agent in North Carolina, the minute that you partner with an IMO, right? That's an insurance marketing organization. They're going to help you get licensed with several different insurance carriers. Normally it's 5 to 6 core carriers, and then you can get other companies as well. So Mutual of Omaha, Americo, American Amicable, AIG, Aetna, just to name John Hancock, Foresters, just to name a few. The minute that you get writing numbers that you can write insurance with all of those companies, you're considered a broker, because now I can write for a whole bunch of different companies. That means that I can shop around the best things for my clients and not just sell one product. So I'm a broker. I get to broker out and broker the deal and look for brokerage, look for different products for my clients. Now I'm a broker because I can shop several different places, where if I'm just an agent, I have access to one company with a few products, and I can only sell their products, right? Let's give an example, and not dogging anybody out. State Farm. So State Farm is an agency. You can sell State Farm products, right? Nothing wrong with that at all. Allstate is an agency. You can sell Allstate products. But when you're a broker and you have a writing number with Mutual of Omaha, Foresters, John Hancock, Aetna, AIG, Gerber, you're a broker because you can sell all of the products that you're licensed to sell under all those different companies. Annuities, if you're interested in annuities, you can sell annuities. So all these different things. We talked about earning potential. We talked about chargeback. We talked about deals being canceled. We talked about growth potential. So we've pretty much covered everything. My answer, what would I do if it was me, if I had to do it all over again? So because I already have an established firm, and if you already have an established business in real estate, I recommend that you keep focusing on your, just my opinion, keep focusing on your real estate business. Get your insurance license or begin building and growing your insurance business. And the minute that it matches your real estate income, decide which one you want to focus on. Maybe make insurance the full-time and real estate the part-time. If you say, well, you know what, I only have the bandwidth and the capacity for one of these, which one am I going to choose? I pick insurance. I know, right? I pick life insurance, right? And the reason why I say pick life insurance is because you don't have either one. So you don't have anything to lose. I can't walk away from a 13-year career. Because I've built an established business. So I can't just up and be like, Fusion Properties, good luck and God bless, because it's created a lifestyle, right, for my family. But I know that with insurance, oh, that's what we got 2 more things and I'm going to shut up, right? But I know that with insurance, I can grow it and get it to match Fusion. And then I can decide what I want to do with that. Okay, how can I match it and grow it with Fusion? So Dr. Patrice Carter is going to put a link down in the chat section if she's able to. Patrice, let me know if you can't. She's going to put a link down in there because I want you, if you're remotely interested in getting your license, we can walk you through that process of how to go about doing that. We can see about getting you a coupon code to knock that out to get your life and health license. So it doesn't matter if you're not licensed. If you are licensed, I want to talk to you about what you're looking for in a career, what you're looking for in a business. I consider myself to be a really great leader through the grace of God. I can show you the way. And then our company starts at 100% commission, right? So you're coming in right from the jump, getting 100% of the advance, 100% of the 75%. And it's 100% with our core carriers because not all carriers pay the same. We could talk about that on different dates. So it's not based on the insurance marketing organization that you partner with. It's based on the contract that the carriers offers that IMO. So don't let anybody tell you one is better than the other. I like the company that I was with before I transferred over. But what I found was, and what didn't work for me, was there was a meeting for the meeting about the meeting for the next meeting, and it was 7 hours worth of meetings. And I didn't have time for that. What was important to me was sales training. What was important to me was how do I grow this thing? What was important to me is how do I leverage myself? How do I take one of Garlinda's and turn that into 100? I know the thought of 100 Garlindas for anybody that knows me is like, oh no, let's not do that, sweet baby Jesus, right? But what I mean is leveraging myself. So I just shared with you that I have 4 brokers that are part of my firm, that are part of my company, but they're in North Carolina. They can't help me build and grow and leverage Fusion Properties in South Carolina. They can't help me grow and build and leverage Fusion Properties in Texas, Tennessee, Michigan, Maryland, Virginia, South Carolina, Georgia. They can't do that. But in insurance, right? You can build and grow a team. Do you have to? No. You can be a lone soldier and make a ton of money. I just told you you could make at a minimum, if you were just working 15 to 20 hours a week, you could make anywhere from $40,000 to $63,000 a year, right? So what if you had agents in other states doing that? You can build and grow a team across the country and you never have to step foot there. You ain't got to be there. Right? And then with some carriers, you don't even have to be licensed in that state to get paid the override. So I'll give you an example. So if I have an agent that's in Virginia, and I did before I switched companies because I didn't bring anybody with me to my new company, right? So anytime she was in the state of Virginia and she wrote a policy with a company called America would pay me a percentage of her business. Not from her money, but from the carrier. Right? You can earn trips through the insurance carriers. Ain't no real estate company ever given me a trip, right? They probably said I was a trip, right? But they've never given me a trip. So with insurance, and the reason why I personally say it's better if you're not yet licensed or you're hemming and hawing about which license to get and undecided about it, get your insurance license. You can earn vacations. You can earn trips. I'm all about the tchotchkes. I love trophies. When I won the Yeti Cups, right, for doing $10,000 a week in business, for doing $10,000 a month in transactions, when I got the trophies for Rookie of the Year and Top Producer of the Year, I love those things because I already got the money for it, right, when I got paid by the carriers, but I like winning awards. Right? But I have not earned any trips yet. You can track that stuff. So I say the insurance is better. But if you're already a licensed real estate broker and you're trying to decide what to do, and you say, I have a limited amount of time, get your life license. Life insurance sales will be 95% of your business. Health sales will only be 5%. It's an important 5% because it will pay you residual income over time. And y'all, these residuals are not a lot. So when people say, I want my residuals, it's only 3 to 10%. That's not a lot. Now, yes, it's consistent, but it's only it's not even 10%. It's probably 3 to 6% over 3 to 10 years, right? So don't come to insurance for residuals. Come to insurance because you can get paid within 24 to 48 to 72 hours. It can help you make a really great living. Come to insurance if you want to build and grow a team, because you can leverage yourself to grow a team across the country to include U.S. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, Hawaii, right? You can grow teams in those areas. You can do business on the East Coast, and when the East Coast goes to sleep, you can begin doing business over on the West Coast if you're a workaholic or you're just somebody that says, I want to grind it out and get it in. Okay, so I invite you to connect with me again. I'm Garlinda Price. For those of you to see this later, thank you, Dr. Carter. For those of you to see this later, I want you to reach out through my Calendly link. Teresa, were you able to share the link? Let me know. And then through the Calendly link, I want you to schedule a 15-minute discovery session and let's talk about it. I mean, I don't mind answering your questions. I'll tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'll share all the details with you. And who are we looking for? We're looking for people to say, you know what? I really am interested in a change. I'm really interested in making more money. I'm really interested in growing a business. I may be interested in growing a team. I don't care if you don't want to grow a team. You don't have to do that. There's no pressure there. Let's talk about one last thing. Do you have the link has been shared. Thank you so much. Do you have to buy leads? You do not have to buy leads, but leads are a part of growing a successful business. Leads bless my business, right? They cost anywhere from $1 up to $48 per lead. You get to decide what that investment looks like, but do you have to buy them? No. What if you're really great at social media posts? I'm not exaggerating at all and not bragging only on the Lord. Okay. And bragging only on the Lord. And one day I wrote 8 policies in one family. The next day I wrote 4 policies in another family. After that, I think I've written 3 or 4 policies within the same family. These were from people that I knew, right? So if people know you, like you, and trust you, and they believe you when you talk, they believe you when you educate, they believe you when they're like, okay, Sheila knows what she's talking about, Sharon knows what she's talking about, that person knows what they're talking about, you'll be able to write multiple policies with people that you know. So you don't just have to focus on leads. You can also sell policies to people that you know, right? You can network and set up at events, at women's conferences, at different things. So we can show you and teach you how to build and grow a business without investing in leads. But if you know no one at all, you should consider a lead program. It is not a bad thing. Don't believe all the negativity when people are like, oh, it was ridiculous, it was a waste of money. You can't walk in Walmart and they don't have cereal and milk and you're not gonna think they're crazy, right? You can't go anywhere to a store and then not have products. How are they gonna make any money, right? So a lead is just a product for you to make money, but it's not the end all be all and only way for you to be successful. So Teresa, you said to type in the discussion box who we're looking for. Are you able to type that for me? You get ready to go, let me know. Because I can go and create it. I guess I could type it in a different post after this. But do you have to be licensed? No. Do you do you have to be ready to get your license? Yes, you got to get your license, right? So we're looking for people that want to get licensed in life and health. We're also looking for people in all states. I'm not licensed in New York, so what most people do, if you happen to find this video and you're from New York, is they get licensed in New Jersey and they write business in New Jersey. So we can circumvent by you getting licensed in New Jersey. So all other states are open. We would love to talk to you, and we would start you at 100% contract. There's training. So we're looking for people that are coachable, that are willing to be trained, that say, you know what, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm willing to learn. Do you need experience? No. So we're open to help you get where you want to go. If you're with another company, we call them practice companies. If you're with the practice company, you're like, you know what, I think I might be ready for a change, because I didn't change for the commission. I changed because I was looking for something specific and I found it where I went. Right? So I'm excited about the Life Now group that I'm with. We have an incredible upline. She is super giving. All of your marketing and materials and things like that, we can help you create. You don't have to go and reinvent the wheel. We're here to help you grow. So again, I'm Garlinda Price. I'm the broker and owner of Fusion Properties LLC and Fusion Properties Insurance. And Sabrina Jones, please share the name of the company. Awesome. I'm with Life Now, and with Life Now, we're with Family First Life. Love them as a company. The company I was with before was Symmetry Financial. Super great company as well. Nothing bad to say about them at all. I did not leave them because they were a horrible company. I left them because there was something different and better that I was looking for with the Life Now organization. And I found that. So my sister shared a link. If you want to talk offline with the count on a calendar link, she said she shared that. Sabrina, let me know if you don't see it. And I'm going to put my number. I don't think I can type in the chat for some reason. Let's see. Teresa, you put my phone number in the chat for me? So that way, before we go, I'm going to stay long enough for her to put my phone number in there for me. So you can reach out to me. But again, Sabrina, thank you for being here, and thank you for everyone else that's joined as well. I totally have loved insurance and I'm excited about where it's going as a field for us, and as an opportunity. So I'm not sure how much of you were able to hear, but it is an awesome field for women. And then in terms of minority women, we're only 18% of the insurance industry, so there's a huge opportunity for growth there. So I'm going to stay long enough. Also, if you have any questions, let's just give a few minutes for if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat, and Dr. Carter will let me know what those are. We've been here 66, we're an hour and 6 minutes in, so let's do about 5 more minutes, and then we're going to go because I want to value your time. But super excited. If you didn't hear my answer, I said if I had it all over to do it again, I would get my insurance license. But you can make more money in insurance than you can in real estate starting out. That's my fact. That's the truth. And where do I get that number from? So the National Association of Realtors will tell you that and this number hasn't changed in 13 years. The average realtor sells 4 houses a year. I'm gonna do the math for you right quick. So let's say that the average realtor, this is just giving y'all time to see if you have any questions. The average realtor, if they sold a $200,000 house, and they did that 4 times in a year, that's $800,000. That sounds like a lot, right? When you see people say they sold $1 million, it sounds like a lot, right? So if they sold $800,000 times 3%, which is the average commission, it's $24,000 a year before they're split. If they're not a full broker and they have to split their commission, let's just say that they keep 70%. That means that the average realtor makes $16,800, right? She said the link's not in the chat. So Sabrina, shoot me a text. I'll send it to you. The chat could just be acting wonky. My number is 910-494-7798. 910-494-7798. So the average realtor in doing the numbers makes $16,800 a year. Let's talk about just money right quick for the average insurance broker. So let's say the average insurance broker sells 4 policies a month, and the average monthly premium is $100. That's kind of high, but let's just use that number. It's about $80. Okay, so that's $400 a month times 12. Let me get my math right. So $100 times 4 policies a month is $400, and they're gonna sell 4 policies a month times 12. It's 48 policies a year times 100 is $48,000. I'm sorry, 4,800. Y'all, let me get my math right. Hold on. So $48,000 times 75%. So the average insurance agent can make $36,000 a year. So that's almost double what a realtor makes. The average realtor, not every realtor, right? Not every realtor makes that. So I want to put that out there for somebody who says, that's not what I'm making. I said the average realtor based on what the National Association of Realtors says. So the average insurance broker can make $36,000 a year part-time at a minimum. Okay, so again, my phone number is 910-494-7798. shoot me a text. I'll send you my Calendly link since it's not working here properly. I want to thank all of you that joined. I want to invite you to go back and look at the replay. Also, to let you know that we are looking for real estate. We're looking for life insurance brokers, life and health, whether you're licensed or not, across the country. Would love to talk to you. We're starting everyone out at 100% commission, and we can show you where you can go and take your test, take your class to get licensed. The life insurance test is easy. I hate to say that it's easy, but it's easy compared to real estate. Sabrina Tree said, do you see the link? Sigh. And it's okay if you don't. Like I said, so that we can get together and talk. Okay, so one more time before we go, 910-494-7798. It's not letting me type anything into the chat, so if you shoot me a text, I will send you my Calendly links to talk. So God bless you guys, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Thank you for joining.